Hey, welcome in, folks. This is Babbaginator. We're here in the long dark, currently gearing up for our departure. We are sitting here on day 21. We leave on day 24, so we've got 3 days left. And thus far, we have. Let's see where are we at right now. We made a knife. We forgot to make a hatchet. We need 2 more pieces of metal. So I think what we're going to try is the weather dies down a little bit. Wait an hour here. Sound is woody. Try to go out and visit the tower. See if we can get some scrap from there.
Wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
So this week I took a couple extra days off, more than usual, because I'm still recovering from a rather nasty cold from last week. A little bit about me. Here is our challenge. And yeah. That was a bad one. So I think we're going to go and make our way to the radio tower and try to find some more scrap metal. Okay, here. Yeah, off we go. We have our bedroll with us, right? Yeah. We have our piece of cloth? No, we don't have a piece of cloth. So we need to find another piece of cloth, and we need to try our best. Okay, let's see here. Try our best. Oh, it sucks. That was really dumb. We don't even have bandages. We really need cloth. So yeah, this week, even though I'm mostly recovered from my illness, I have been running on, I don't know, just body's still recovering. Needed extra sleep, so there were a few nights I just took off and vegged instead of playing. As this run is getting underway, I'd rather not mess it up by doing something silly like we just did right now, spraying ourselves without any bandages left. Okay, let's grab some more mushrooms, get our saplings. Oh, this is promising.
Ow! Ah! Hurts a bit, but I'll make it. I'm gonna need some first aid soon.
Hmm.
Ow!
4 hours.
I got it. Ow!
I think something that we can look at in the future is seeing what it takes to install the mods, to set this up to take the mods.
Hurts a bit.
Because there is something called the Long Development, which is a terrific mod which adds 5 new regions to the game. And that might be fun to try to carry on a roll with it that goes even further into new unexplored regions.
Hurts a bit, but I'll make it. Ow!
Okay, we're going to use this cave. See if we can find any cloth in there. So we're not going to take it all the way through to the other side. We are just going to. Yeah, that would be kind of a cheap way to do it, is to, yeah, I really don't think we should stay in the transition game.
I'm not sure I can
Avoid
carry
it.
much more. I'm gonna need some first aid soon.
You need bandages. Or 4 hours of sleep.
That smarts a bit.
Hey, Gene, good to see you.
Ow!
Now let's see. I'm gonna hydrate. Cheers, EG. Thanks for the hydrate. And get that stretch in here in a second. Big stretch. Ooh. And Baba bark 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 bark. You get anything here? Flare. Cloth? No cloth.
Ow!
I'm trying to remember if they fixed this or not. It looks like they fixed it. Yeah. Remember when you had to throw your torch up here because it would always force you to drop it?
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Well, I think I fixed the sound alerts, so if you want to try
Come on,
that,
Raphael.
you're welcome to try that.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load.
Okay. Yeah, so we're not going out, so we're not going that direction. We're not going to bleach yet. Not going to bleach. Not going to bleak. Oh, so last night we had our, I guess you could call it season finale, or end of campaign arc. Our first big campaign arc has come to an end. Players reached level 6 just before this session, and they had their epic final battles with the creatures on the alien craft orbiting the planet that had sent down their away team to quote unquote liberate the population and turn the inhabitants of their world into to genetically and otherwise modify them into to subservient creatures. Basically, it's a coalition of aberrations and creatures from far realms who would very much like to enslave and dominate the species of the planet. And so they fought mind flayers and or the Neo-Ogi and a number of Githyanki and Githzerai, all in a twisted version of Federation. Really more like the Empire. And yeah, so they fought the final 2 bosses, but in the process they ended up causing a cataclysmic failure of the power systems on the ship, and try to go there and come back and stay overnight. But yeah, so in the end, they managed to make it to the transport room, but they had discovered they had a couple problems. One was that one of the characters, in an effort to win against the last boss, and there was Mind Flayer on top of a Eldritch Crawler.
Oh yeah.
Taking out some environmental effects as well, and so had injected himself with a mysterious serum that they had acquired from a lab, possibly mislabeled, results undetermined, and so he injected himself and transformed into he grew not 1 size category but 2, so he went from medium to huge, which was very entertaining because he ended up squishing the invisible Mind Flayer in the process. It was not planned like that, but it's how it worked out. So we had a great time with that until he tried to leave and realized that he was now size huge and the hallways would only accommodate size large. So he had to like chop up he used his adamantine greatsword and carved himself an exit out of the room, but then the hallways were, he had to squeeze through the hallways, and so he took extra time while the ship is in the process of of failing and beginning to pitch and crash towards Earth to the planet, and so um, the party was insistent that he leave first, and so they load him into the transport room. Meanwhile, things are malfunctioning, and they realize they have not learned how to use the teleportation chamber from inside the ship. They only knew how to. They'd only figured out through watching someone how to use the teleportation device on the ground. But the ship had a much more complicated system, and so they kind of guessed it while the system was malfunctioning. So the first character, who is now a size huge dwarf ranger, who is a chef, ends up teleported back to the surface, but not into their original location, but instead to a land of desolation, sort of a region on the island where there had once been a great civilization which had met some sort of cataclysmic doom, and all that was left were, just like desert and ruins, which actually is perfect because that character actually had modeled himself after the dwarf wandering chef in Delicious in the Dungeon, in that manga. So Dungeon Meshi, and so it was perfect for him because his backstory was that he spent most of his time underground anyway. So that actually worked out fine. Next group goes in, and because someone has to be in the booth to operate, to at least set things in motion. And so another group goes into the booth to try to teleport, but things are already malfunctioning again. And so they roll to see where they land, and they end up in, they end up in the big city of Sanctuary, which two of them the two that landed there were the ones that had originally come from there, but they ended up in opposite neighborhoods. And then another two go, and they end up in a dwarven city, which is a couple days' journey from the other city. So they're now all scattered. One of the two that ended up in Sanctuary, which is the main city, is planning to retire that character and bring in a new character. So it's fine. And then, so we do have one character for certain that's going to have to find a way to meet the other two characters. And of course, the city where they've decided they want to reconvene is yet another part of my larger map that I have not actually fleshed out. I've written a description of the city, and I have no map of the city. I've written up none of the neighborhoods or any of the NPCs or any of the major plot hooks. So it's like, so we're taking a couple weeks off due to other scheduling issues. So I have some time to develop, the next campaign arc if it's going to be in that new city. But it was kind of funny. It's like the one city that is well fleshed out and ready to go is the one city that they seem consistently not to go to. So yeah, lead them to water, but you can't make them drink. Meanwhile, my Tuesday group, I think it's on its last legs, quite honestly. I think we tried once again to meet this week, and we had some last minute cancellations. One person didn't bother telling us that they were not going to be there. The other one, at the very last minute, notified me that they couldn't make it. And we already had another person drop out for work issues. So, and then I'm going to have to shift the day anyway. So I'm thinking we may end up either ending the campaign altogether or yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know whether to recruit some more people and start over again, or if I should just fold the most active 2 people from that campaign into the my Thursday night group, and just run the occasional one shot or short adventure for anyone else that's interested in occasionally doing a Tuesday night, or I guess not Tuesday night, since my Tuesday nights are going to be busy. Okay, we should probably take care of our, it was anticlimactic. I thought we had more. Okay. Okay. What else can we make? We can make porridge. Okay, so we have some teas going here. I guess worst case scenario, we'll shred this thing. Oh, can we shred? Yeah, we can because we have the sweater. Okay, and we're gonna just drop these guys. Okay, so we're going to get this out of our inventory. We get sick, we get sick.
No, the stomach.
Yep.
It hurts. Oh, God, it hurts.
But at least it is. Yep, we're good on that front. Now I can comfortably sleep for 10 hours.
I could eat a horse. Let's stand a lot, because I love horses. Man, I could could eat anything. My stomach feels like an empty pit.
Wow, that's wild. So 2 interviews, a new job, and your head executive coach resigned, so you got a promotion. Wow.
I could eat anything right now.
That's wild. Okay.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Oh, this is not helpful. Looks like we're staying inside and reading books.
I could eat anything.
It still sounds like a blizzard out there. Well, one way to approach this would be just to warm up some
Not sure I
teas.
can carry much more.
We're doing for matches anyways. We got 18. We're fine.
Come on, little fire.
Well, congratulations on your new position then. That's pretty exciting. Oh no, 2 hours earlier.
Where
Oops.
can I find something to eat?
We didn't need to pick these up yet. Okay.
Man, this pack is getting kind of heavy.
Okay, we are on day 22 now. Leaves us 2 days. Really want to just hop over here. So I saw what my new paycheck amount is going to be. So I think I mentioned earlier that our union this summer was able to negotiate a new contract. Or more specifically, the settlement process resulted in a new contract for us. And so I got to see what the my new paycheck for this month is going to be. So overall, in the year, it is an increase, but I swear I don't really see that much of a bump in my monthly take-home pay, because I think what happened is I got knocked into the next tax bracket. So more of it disappeared. So the net result is like $200 more a month, even though, it probably is more like, without the impact of tax, it would be more like $450 more a month. Go away. Go away. Oh, why don't we have both of them here? And then I saw an interesting article earlier today about like how much there was like a worldwide study to evaluate approximately how much money you need to achieve happiness in a given city, comparing different cities around the world, what your salary would have to be for the year. Turns out that most cities do not the people in most cities are not making enough money to be happy. Not by a long shot. And Toronto and Vancouver are two places where that definitely is the case. Where you effectively need to be making around $170,000 a year to have the maximum happiness. Making more than $170,000 a year before you're achieving maximum happiness by their metric, however that metric works. Now, I'll be honest, I'm generally a pretty happy person. But I do admit that rent does cause me some level of stress. I don't think there were guys up here. What are you doing up here? What are you doing up here? Made me use one of my good flares. What are you doing up here?
I can't feel my feet.
Yeah, we need 2 pieces of scrap. Nope.
This stuff will come
Nope.
in handy.
Nope.
Thank you. I can barely walk with this
Yep.
much gear.
Some more cloth.
If I don't lower him up soon.
Oh, did he get himself a rabbit? I think he got himself a rabbit. This weather is not what I wanted to travel in. It's not good. Go away, go away. Nope. Yeah. I just don't like the idea that we're almost out of torches. I mean, of flares. But I use a lot of flares in this region. Oh, here we go. Okay, we're going to try to make it all the way back. Maybe a bad idea, but we'll try. See if we can at least make it to the other cave. And then we'll see if we can make it all the way back to the dispenses. So yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll make it to the cave, we'll warm up some teas, and then we'll press through to the other side if we can. 22. Oh, we're cutting it close. My big plan this weekend is to finish up my cover letter for the job I'm applying to. I looked at this other job that was a short term like contract teach creative writing for one of the local colleges here in town, which would cover me from January until like probably May. But I didn't like the fact that basically if I took that job, I would be locked in for the entire semester. You can't really leave middle of semester. So if a library job showed up, I would not be able to take it. So I decided not to apply for that one. It was a tough call because honestly, I would have loved to have taught for a semester. But, alas, that was not in the cards this time. I think I still will put an application in to teach a remote class for the University of Toronto for the continuing studies program. But I won't do that until I have a better sense of whether or not I'm going to end up in BC. If I end up in BC, then it might be worth, I'd have to work out the time difference, but it might be worth doing it just because it would increase my options for housing. Well, I couldn't depend on it, but it would definitely make my life a little bit simpler. Yeah. Because again, that would just be whenever they want me to teach. Okay. So, what do we have here? Go.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Window is shrinking quickly, but we should probably go. This is fine. This is perfectly fine. Ooh. I have so many things to work on this coming week. I have to turn in this job application. Not again. Turn in this job application, then I also have to do some more edits on the opera libretto, and I also have to read through a stack of poetry books and figure out what I'm going to rate them for this, well, evaluate them for a sort of a prize jury I'm on. So
I'm gonna need some first aid soon. That smarts a bit.
oh, you know what? We still did not find the extra metal we needed. That was a shocking disappointment. The only other spot would be the fallen tower on the other side. And if we go there, it'll be too late to do a forge. So I think we're going to have to accept we don't have... Might be carrying our hammer a little bit longer.
Hurts a bit, but I'll
We
make
still
it.
have the hammer on us? No, we left it at the forge. We have to take the hammer with us.
It's getting.
Okay. Well, I think we'll probably go to Milton Basin next. But I do feel a little annoyed about not getting enough metal to do our... Well, we messed up. We had enough metal, but not making the hatchet. I really would like to have the hatchet. And I would really like to not have to carry the hammer with me. But we kind of messed up. But I figure it's important to do Milton Basin, Milton, loop back to... This is what we'll do. We'll do Milton Basin, Milton, and back to Mystery Lake. Or we actually, I guess we'd probably want to do Milton Basin, Milton, Hush River Valley.
That smarts a bit.
Wow, there's really no efficient path. We are going to end up looping around a few times. That's kind of annoying. Where else could we try for metal?
But I'll make it.
Oh, we could go out to that shed over there. Oh, wait a sec. We're one short. We just need one more piece of metal.
I'm gonna need some first aid soon. That smarts a bit. Ow!
Thanks.
Hurts a bit, but I'll make it.
No piece of metal. Okay. We're one piece short. I mean, worst case scenario, we could shred a lantern. Prefer not to, but. Nothing. Okay, so we are out of luck. Warm up at least here.
Come on, little fire! Oh, lucky day.
Okay. Okay, let us figure out what we can do here. Minutes. Hmm. Okay. Should I just leave the hammer here? Make it harder to break things down, but less hassle for moving around.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Especially since we're going to be leaving Milton Basin and need to climb. Oh, the downside though, right, is that we still don't have a bow. Did we leave guts? Did we leave guts in? I'm wondering if the best move is actually to go back to Mystery Lake. Might have to double up a little bit here, but if we go back to Mystery Lake
If I don't get some food soon.
and re-enter Forlorn Muskeg, the Mystery Lake, grab some more metal, return, forge the hatchet, ditch the hammer.
I'm gonna need some first aid soon.
That smarts a bit.
Yeah, that's probably what we'll end up doing. I don't like this return of the wind. Oh, and we lost our... Well, that sucks. There's going to be a wolf up here. Wow.
Ow! Ow! Hurts a bit, but I'll make it.
Knew it. Used our last flare to do this. Oh, it's not good.
I'm gonna need some first aid soon.
That smarts a bit. Ah! Ow!
Oh, we do have guts going.
I'm gonna need to rest soon.
So we do have guts, they're just not ready. Hatchet requires 5, right? Yeah, we need one more. This really doesn't add much. We're going to harvest it. I'm going to have an extra little bit of cloth to make bandages, because it would be better for us to have. I don't want to die because I don't have bandages. 55. So we can leave these guys to cure. Well, I think we left guts curing in. Did we? Did we leave guts curing? Day 22, almost 23.
I'm not gonna be able to
Yeah, we'll
carry this
put
load for
these
much longer.
someplace we could find them again.
I could eat a horse.
Still pretty gusty. Hmm.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Okay. Wind seemed to have stopped. Everything else goes.
Come on, little fire. Perfect. I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Okay, we are officially on day 23. 1 day left. Hmm. Visibility is terrible. Okay, so I think what we do is we leave everything we need here for the forge. Hey, Duke Coyote. Welcome in. We messed up when we forged, and we accidentally last stream we messed up. We forged and we accidentally forgot to make our hatchet, and so we have not been able to find enough scrap metal to make up the difference. We have 4 pieces, not 5. So I really don't want to leave, like, head further into the far territories without having a working bow or without a working hatchet. So I am going to double back and go back to Mystery Lake, which does feel a little like a waste of time, but it may be our best course of action. We could dismantle Lantern. I did consider that. Regardless, we don't have a working bow, and I would really like to have a working bow before we go anywhere else. So, and that's because our guts have not finished curing. We got guts curing back in Mystery Lake, I believe, and then we have guts curing in the bunker here, but we did not get the guts cured. We did not transport curing guts with us when we entered into the region, because I didn't want to trigger a bear attack. I was trying to play it safe. But the downside of that is that we ended up behind schedule in getting the bow done. That's going to be a very late bow. So I left everything behind. For the forge, and we will make up the difference on our return trip here. But yeah, I did consider dismantling the lantern. Give you a shout out here before we forget.
You buy that? I buy that. Let's do that. The fuck was that? I hope that was... What the fuck was that? Was that just What the fuck is going on? Looky here. We got a problem. That was our base blew up. See that shit? Oh my lord. What the fuck happened? We left that going and we walked away from it and it blew up.
I'm really glad to be done with the week. It wasn't terrible. It was just, spent the previous week sick. This week I was mostly recovered, but still not 100%, and feeling pretty tired. Yeah. Day 23. Got one more day to go. Where are you coming from? Where are you coming from? I don't know where he was coming from. That was spooky. Do you see the wolf? I do not see the wolf. Where are you coming from, buddy? Weird. Somewhere. Just can't see him. You know, we do have kind of a final Hail Mary place to check for metal. And if we find it, we might actually... Oh, there's the guy over here. So we haven't been up to check the other.
Come on, little fire. Come on.
There's a tower over here. We haven't checked it yet because usually there's wolves over there, but
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
but there's also sometimes carcass or two, maybe some other useful stuff. So we'll go over and check that. And so if we do find our last piece of metal scrap, what we might do is we might actually... Oh, this actually would make more sense, wouldn't it? Okay, so let's do this. Let us try to grab a piece of metal from over here. And then we can stay in the cave overnight at Hat Creek. We go into Milton Basin. And we stay for 1 to 4 days. And then we come back and forge. I think that's what we do. Because if we go back to Mystery Lake, we stand a chance of rolling really high and having to stay there for several days. And this would be shorter. And then we could have a bow faster. Because we left the guts also to cure here. Well, actually, in the bunker. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll do that. Okay, let's see. When we find the piece of metal, we will be back. We'll go to Mountain Basin.
I'll take it.
Oh, we definitely needed the flare.
I'm so hungry.
Okay, we'll try this little nook over here. Nope. Food. Hey, Roar. Yes, better late than never. Oh,
Come on, little fire.
six. There we go. That's a sentient weapon. Mm. Well, Roller, I wrapped up my my Thursday night campaign, D&D campaign. We got to the conclusion of the I guess you could call it the season finale. So they finished their battle. They had basically unwittingly used a transport device that got them on board a flying spaceship hovering over the world. Most of their enemies over the last arc have originated from either experiments or the advanced scouting crew of this exploratory spacecraft from a federation of sentient species, including, basically very evil-minded sentient species, mind flayers and neologi. Basically, they're insectoid slavers. Well, yeah. They they had the final battles with the last two bosses, and then the spaceship experienced a catastrophic. Because of their actions, the spaceship experienced a catastrophic power failure, and they inflicted enough damage to a lot of the systems that started to fail, pitched forward, started to fly back towards the planet, and so they had to rush to the transport room to get out. But in a rather humorous turn, one of the characters had injected himself with a mysterious syringe of super concentrated basically experimental drug developed by the aliens. And all he was told that it would make him bigger. Well, it did. It actually enlarged him 2 size categories, and which was very humorous for the fight, but a real problem when he had to leave the room. So he had to carve a hole in the wall large enough to extract himself and then squeeze through the hallway, which was meant for size large, and squeezed all the way to the transport room where he was too big for anyone else to be in the transport room at the same time, so they had to teleport him on his own, which of course the ship was failing, malfunctions happened, and as the party used the teleport, they end up all teleporting to some of them end up in different places. Some end up in the big city of Sanctuary. Some of them end up on the outskirts of another city. One of them ends up in the middle of a desert. Yeah, that was pretty funny. And then meanwhile, the spacecraft is going to crash somewhere else in the world. So they'll see like this streak of light coming down. Which is kind of ironic since the whole campaign started with them being told to find out what had fallen from the sky earlier, a couple months earlier, which may in fact be... So anyways, this whole thing could turn into a big circle, so... They were taking a couple weeks off because it looks like the party is going to meet up in one of the cities that I have not written very much about, so I'm going to have to spend some time fleshing that out. But there's people traveling, and one of our players, Thursday was their last session because they're moving cross country to Vancouver, so...
Dusk, so I can't be far behind.
So we may have to do a little bit of reshuffling. Actually, let's see. Uh-oh. That is not a sound I wanted to hear. That is not the sound I want to hear. I think we will have to abandon these. And really hope we don't run into anyone on the way out. Yeah, here I was thinking we'd get some guts. Or metal scrap. Failed on both accounts. Nah, we're the alien arc is pretty much done. For now, at least. Now, they'll have a much more traditional arc next. I think the plan is to go to Ostagar, which is the Dwarven. It's kind of a Dwarven enclave. It's a city that's 70% dwarves, and and it's built on the ruins of another civilization. Of course. And so there's going to be, of course, dungeons to explore.
Trees. Guess I'm gonna.
Oh, did I miss? I just shot right past the cave opening. I guess I probably could have brought the guts in. Oh well.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Okay, we will go and camp in the cave tonight, and tomorrow, well, in the morning we will go into the new region, but that will wait for next stream. We will just close off our stream by resting and waking up. I find it really interesting that the deer doesn't spawn the first time you visit, but the second time you visit. But look at us. We're going to get some more guts. So, despite the fact that we had to drop a set of guts, we'll be able to get a set of guts here. And we have guts that are over 50% done at Spence's, or actually in the bunker by Spence's. So... Okay, let's throw on. Actually, porch in this one. Skillet on this one, and fry up our steak.
All I can think about is food.
Okay, here we go. Ooh. We still have that rope here.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Oh, we have extra flares. Lucky us. If we're going into Melt Basin, we actually don't need to take any of this stuff with us. Okay, let's read for a couple more hours.
God, I could eat a horse. I'm gonna need to eat soon.
I mean, it's impossible to do now? I think that's what I was told, right? We are on 23, almost 24. Turn 24 soon. I think as soon as we finish reading this book, actually.
Can you eat trees?
I think we're actually going to we're going to gamble. We're going to go to Milton Basin and see if we can find a piece of scrap metal there. Because if we do and we return, we should have enough time. So these guts, well, the guts back at Spence's will be cured by then. And these guts will be possibly cured. These are already cured. Yeah, we're in a pretty good place. $24. Yep. So it's time to go. So I think we are going to go to Basin. And we'll do that next time. There's something to look forward to. Okay. So. Okay. No, there will be no 20. We are still within the first 50 days, so it'll be 1 to 4 in Basin and 1 to 10 when we return here. Okay, so we are all set. All this stuff can cure. There's no big rush on stuff. Grab one of these. Really could use more.
Man, this pack is getting kind of heavy.
It's gusty. Okay, so we'll deal with this next time. So day 24, ready to leave. We're good to go for our next step, and we're going to Basin. So let's see. Before we wrap up, well, let's see. Before we sign off, let's move over to read some poetry, and then we'll head out. Oh, actually, I think we have like the tail end of the what we make of failure. Let's see, where is it? So the keynote address that I gave a couple weeks back on failure as part of the creative process. Okay, so here we are. We're about halfway through. This is page 5. For the past 17 years, I have been involved with various literary translation projects, helping Ming Di, a poet translator friend, translate around 200 contemporary Chinese poems into English. Both of us, being poets and being bilingual, could operate in both languages, and so had an unusual freedom to discuss and wrestle with how best to bring each poem across. Our conversations were frequently negotiations, given the impossibility of rendering everything embodied in the Chinese. What could we translate? What should we prioritize? The linguistic exchange rate was brutal. Failure was guaranteed. And yet, even so, what could we do so that something of the beauty of the poem in its first language could be felt in the new one? If the original text stood on one side of a vast lake, what could we fit within the bounds of the vessel we used to bring the poem across? And could you see what we'd left behind from the other side? As I worked on these translations, I came to realize that translation itself is nothing more than the art of beautiful failure. We try our best to capture something of the gesture and tone of the original, recognizing that so much of what makes the poem a poem in the original language will not survive. We will certainly fail. But failure is not the end. Failure is the gesture. Failure is knocking at the door of comprehension. Failure is beautiful. I love collecting translations of Li Bai's poems, and over the years have assembled over 20 different translators' takes on the same 8-line poem, Song Yo Run, which is often translated as taking leave of an old friend or farewell to a friend. The original poem is formed of 8 lines consisting of 5 characters each. It's a model of brevity and understatement. The poem's occasion is a farewell, the one poet escorting his old friend to the outskirts of town. They linger at the city gate while dust and weeds blow by, the clouds pass, and then the horses finally neigh, signaling it is time to go. I'm fascinated by what each translator chooses to save and what they end up abandoning. One cannot capture the contrasting colors, the mirrored grammar, and the sense of directional motion, while also preserving rhythm, wordplay, and the onomatopoeia of the horse's neighing and the wind sighing, the visual puns of the character for cart containing a waving hand and a vehicle, the passage of time, and the lingering sense that this will be their last meeting in this life. So much is not stated. So much lives in the gaps and silences between the images and words. So much relies on what we cannot translate. So what's to be done? We attempt it anyway, whether we encounter the poem in its original language, but separated by centuries, or read it in the fractal cubist multiplicity of these various attempts to render it. Somehow we glimpse what is beautiful, and each attempt brings us closer to grasping it. But we might also accept that writing is always moonlight on the surface of the waves, or the stars in the vault of the night sky, or whatever lies just beyond the edge of the world we can see. What can we make of failure? I do not know the entirety of that answer for you or for me, but I suspect it involves questions. It involves courage. It involves writing not only what we know, but what we do not know, and even what we might fear to know. It may require salvage. It might mean renovation or rebuilding. Sometimes failure opens an unexpected or unwanted door, and we find ourselves embarking on a journey we did not anticipate. Okay, and so I'm going to pause there, and we'll pick up next time, because it kind of goes into the next anecdote after that. So, yeah, so what we make of failure. And if there's anything we know about failure, we learned a lot about failure in this game. The Long Dark is a masterclass in failure and what we make of it. So it works. It totally works. We learn, we grow, we change. And some of us write poetry. Okay, so that was it for me tonight, and we will pick up again. I think I'm going to try to do tomorrow night as well. I have a D&D session right before. If I still have energy and still have a voice, I will pick up and stream. If not, you will see me Sunday night, most likely. Yeah, but I'm going to aim for tomorrow night. Okay, so let's figure out who we can go raid. see if we have some old friends and new friends that we might visit. Okay, so QC Gaming is up. Do Deadpool doing a legacy run. And Hydrite. First playthrough, nobody to be found. Okay. I might pick someone pretty new. I think that's what we might do. Yeah, I think we're going to pick on someone new. Someone we haven't visited before. I think we might do the first playthrough guy. Okay, let's support someone brand new. Hey, someone who's new to the game. Oops. Setting up the raid, and we will be back most likely tomorrow night. So thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. Take care, and we will see you again on the other side of the raid, and if not then, on the next stream. Thank you all, and good night.